Hi, my name is Manuel, and I'm a program manager here in the Dominican Republic for Rustic Pathways. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Dominican Republic and what to expect when coming into the country. We like to call the country DR, so I'm going to be using that throughout the video. And I'm just going to answer some of the most frequent questions about the country and the programs. So first, where does the name Dominican Republic come from? So it comes from an order of priests that came in the very early days of the country. They were part of the order of Dominicus, and the patron saint of this order is Saint Dominic. After a while, the residents of the country started calling themselves Dominicans. And after our independence, then we founded the country as Dominican Republic. What languages are spoken here? So Spanish is the official language, but apart from Spanish, Haitian Creole is widely spoken by Haitian immigrants. Our neighbor is Haiti, and we have a lot of immigration coming from Haiti. There's also a lot of French, because there's French immigrants that come from France, but also the official language of Haiti is French. English is generally spoken only in touristic areas. So for most of the country, English is not spoken, only in touristic areas. What are people here in the DR like, and how do we see ourselves? Dominicans are kind, warm people. We are very expressive, and we like to joke around all the time. So don't take us too seriously. We love to dance and to share our meals with those people that we care about. So a Dominican will always invite you over to share a meal. Regardless if they know you or not, we just like to welcome and share meals with everyone. We treat everyone around us like family, and we love to share our culture. So Dominicans will all be like, oh, try this, or have you tried this, or have you gone there? We just love to share our culture. So what are some of the most amazing travel experiences in this country? So definitely walking through the cobbled streets of the first European settlement in the Americas, the colonial zone of Santo Domingo, is a must. It's something that you must do when you visit the country. Also, visiting the pristine beaches all around the country, visiting the mountain town of Jarabacoa, enjoying a cafecito or a little coffee with the host family, hiking up to Pico Duarte, the highest point in the Caribbean, standing at 10,164 feet, jumping off the 27 waterfalls of Damajagua, snorkeling through the coral reefs of the Amber Coast, which is our northern coast, taking a boat to Isla Saona and visiting a turtle conservation project, as well as just visiting some of the stunning beaches that Isla Saona also has to offer. Moving on, what are one or two off the beaten path experience that travelers might not know to look for? So definitely there's a very special beach in the south side of the country. It's very secluded and a little hard to get to, but it's definitely worth it. It's called Bahía de las Águilas, or Bay of Eagles in English. Also, hiking up to Pico Duarte, which usually takes around 2 to 3 days, is also a very off the beaten path experience that's very well worth it. And visiting the pyramids of Valle Nuevo, which are some pyramids that are located up in the mountains, but a little further away from Pico Duarte. What is food like? So Dominicans love to eat, and as I said before, we love to share our meals. The Dominican Republic is a rich country in landscape, culture, and people, and this diversity is certainly present in its food. Dominican gastronomy mixes Western African, Taino, and European techniques and ingredients to create a varied Creole cuisine. Food is something we keep in mind when designing our programs, so we include a taste of Dominican flavor all over. One of the typical dishes that are a must-try for students is sancocho. Sancocho is a thick soup made of a variety of meat, vegetable, and tubers. It is very normal to see it in family gatherings or friends' parties. Sancocho is a celebration dish. Another yummy dish in the Dominican is the Dominican flag, or just the flag. La bandera, as it's called in Spanish, is mainly composed of rice, red beans, and meat, normally chicken, but also beef or pork. You can also add salad, avocado, and fried plantains or banana. This is one of the most common and representative dishes of our country. It is a very common lunch and it's never missing in our base house meals. Also, it is not uncommon to see it featured in Dominican restaurant menus. So we've seen more than one student eating it during meals outside the base house or hotel or eco lodge or wherever you're staying. Also, mango, along with the flag and the sancocho, is sort of like the third musketeer of Dominican cuisine. It's basically a boiled green plantain puree. This is a Dominican version of mashed potatoes. It is eaten with eggs, Dominican salami, or fried cheese. You can also combine them all, three of these that I just mentioned, to make the mango con los tres golpes. Then you can sprinkle some olive oil and garnish it with onions. And, of course, don't forget the avocado. What is the weather like here? So the climate in the Dominican Republic is generally hot with tropical temperatures all year, although it does vary from region to region. The average temperature throughout the year is 77 degrees Fahrenheit. In the mountains, in the northern part of the country, the temperature averages 65 Fahrenheit, while near sea level, like where I am right now in Santo Domingo, the average temperature is 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, because we are a small island and we are surrounded by bodies of water, and we have a lot of rivers as well, the humidity is pretty high throughout the whole country. So it usually will be between 60 to 90%, depending on where you are. Moving on to money, very important. The Dominican peso is the currency used in the Dominican Republic. As of September 2020, $1 US is equivalent to 59 Dominican pesos. Dollars are accepted in some places, but not all the places that we travel to. It is mostly accepted in touristic areas, so definitely it's smart to exchange some of your money to Dominican pesos. And with that, how much money should you bring? It's advisable to bring about $100 to $200 US dollars per week. Is it safe to travel here to the Dominican Republic? Yes, it is safe to travel to, but some precautions are needed and taken by us in the country, mainly avoiding driving at night and using only trusted vendors. What are some of the most popular activities or pastimes in the country? So baseball, as some of you might know, is the most popular sport in the DR, and it's played throughout the whole country. There's a lot of players that actually play in the major leagues in the United States that are from here, from the DR. Any community, town, or city that you visit will have plenty of baseball fields. Another popular activity that you will see is dominoes. It's a board game, and it's popularly played in teams of two in colmados. Colmados are a mix of a small supermarket and a bar, and they're all over the country. And wherever there is a colmado, you'll see tables of dominoes and people playing dominoes in teams of two. Very important. What is one favorite memory of a Rustic Pathways program experience? There's so many, but to me, getting to know the communities and the challenges they face and participating in community service is always very special. Also, driving through the lush green mountains of Jarabacoa and admiring the scenery, and going to different beaches around the country. In the DR, every beach is unique. There are different types of sand, there's different types of trees, and each and every one of these beaches is beautiful and unique in its own way. Another experience that's really remarkable here is taking a boat to Saona Island, which is a small island off the eastern part of the country, and learning about a turtle conservation project that's being led by locals there. What advice do I have for first-time visitors to the country? Well, my main advice is always, don't be shy. Even if you don't speak a lot of Spanish, Dominicans love to share with foreigners and really appreciate it when you try to speak Spanish. Dominicans also like to practice their English. Even if they might not know so much, they'll make up the words and just improvise as they go, and they will not be shy whatsoever. We really appreciate people coming here to learn about our culture. So don't be shy. You'll get the most of it if you try and practice your Spanish and try to share with us. What are the main points of interest for me and landmarks? I've mentioned some of these before. So the Colonial Zone, the town of Jarabacoa, and Saona Island are definitely things that you must see when you come into the country. Moving on to music. So Dominicans are famous for their love of dancing and music. The sounds of Dominican Republic are mainly influenced by roots from West Africa and Europe. There are a great variety of traditional and urban rhythms which create an abundant musical tradition. Some of the most famous music and dances in the DR are merengue, bachata, dembow, and salsa, and you will see them and you will hear them all around the country. Merengue is the most famous of them, and it is even considered a national dance. It is often shown as a music that represents the triple heritage of Dominican culture, mixing instruments of African, European, and indigenous Taino origin. It was recently named as a World Heritage by UNESCO, and you will hear it all around the country. What documents are needed to enter this country, or the DR? A passport is all that's required to enter the country. A tourist visa can also be required, but only if you're staying for longer than 30 days. So most of the groups that come here won't really need a tourist visa, and in any case, it can be bought at the airport. Like I said, it's only needed for visits longer than 30 days. What are bathrooms like in the country? Bathrooms in DR feature in Western toilets and showers, so they're very similar to those in the US. Can you drink the water here? The tap water here is not drinkable, but bottled water is available everywhere for purchase. And we also provide bottled water throughout the whole program in each and every one of our programs. Do you need a vaccine? No vaccinations are required if you're arriving from the United States or Europe. Moving on to accommodations. Accommodations in rustic programs in the DR range from eco lodges that feature 2 to 4 beds per room, to base houses that also feature 2 to 4 beds per room, to dorm-style bedrooms in volunteer facilities that can accommodate up to 8 students per room. In regards to service projects, service in the Dominican Republic varies depending on location. For programs based in the mountains, students work on water access and sanitation projects using pick and shovels to dig trenches and replace old aqueducts and install new ones. For programs based in the Batallas of the east side of the country, students work in infrastructure projects, building latrines and cementing floors for communities in the Batallas. The Batallas are communities that are located within the sugarcane fields of the DR, and they're mainly composed of Haitian immigrants or descendants of Haitian immigrants. In the projects in the Batallas, the students will be mostly mixing cement and just helping out with small tasks, for example, passing around cement blocks or filling in the gaps in the wall of a latrine that you're building. Moving on to homestays. So when we're doing homestays, where do students and teachers sleep? So for homestays, students stay at their host family's home, and teachers sleep in eco lodges located within the community and usually managed by community leaders. For homestays, all homestay families are vetted and are required to present a recent background check. They are trusted families that have hosted students before, both from rustic and other organizations. Moving on to bugs. Will mosquito nets be made available? How do we manage mosquitoes? So mosquito nets will be available in every accommodation that does not feature air conditioning, which is most of them. Program leaders also carry around bug spray to manage mosquitoes, but it is recommended for you to bring your own. Other bugs that can be found here are the same as everywhere. You can find little spiders. Sometimes you'll find other bugs, but no insects or animals are venomous in the Dominican Republic. Can we accommodate dietary restrictions? Yes, we can accommodate most dietary restrictions. It could be gluten-free, any type of allergy, and other types of dietary restrictions. We can almost always accommodate them. In regards to free time, depending on the program and what we put together, there might be some free time, and some good activities for free time is always, of course, going to the beach and going to town and doing some local shopping is some of the things that I personally recommend you do in your free time programs if you have some. How do we get around here? So we use different types of transportation. So we usually use vans, 15 passenger vans, 30 passenger buses for traveling from province to province, open air trucks for the programs that are in the mountains of Jarabacoa. They allow you to admire the scenery around you and are also very safe and go really, really slow. In the east side, for our marine programs, we use small and medium boats. And of course, we also do a lot of walking whenever we can. For large groups, how do we manage service? With service for large groups, what we do, we have two ways of working around that. One way is to divide the group between different service types. And another way that we use is just focusing on a big project that requires dividing the group in different little groups, each with a different focus on the service project. So these are just some of the frequently asked questions. I hope I answered some of the things on your mind and that you got to know a little bit more about the country. We look forward to having you, and thanks for watching this video.